When it comes to making changes to healthy habits, alcohol often has a big question mark. Does it have a place within a healthy diet? Can it still be included? Is it holding you back from making progress? I'm here to say that you can absolutely include some alcoholic beverages and you can still make great progress, but there are some considerations that we do have to make. One of them is how we track alcohol, because alcohol is actually doesn't really fall under the 3 macronutrients, protein, carbs, or fats. Alcohol is often considered its own macronutrient, and it has a separate calories per gram amount. But when you go to a food tracking app, there's not really a place for that. So we have to kind of get a little bit tricky with how we track it. And most of the time, how we do that is we take the total calories and we divvy it up between carbs and fats, because we don't want our alcohol consumption to detract from the protein intake goal that we have. So if you look at this label in front of you, you see that the calories is listed as 100 for 1 can of this White Claw hard seltzer. But knowing what we know about our macronutrients, this 100 calories doesn't really make sense, because it shows on the label that there are 0 grams of protein, there are only 2 grams of carbohydrates, and there are 0 grams of fat. We know that there are 4 calories per gram of protein. We know that there are 4 calories per gram of carbs, and we know that there are 9 calories per gram of fats. So if we were to manually add up the carbohydrates and take that 2 grams of carbs that's listed on the label and multiply it by 4, then the calories for this White Claw hard seltzer is only 8. So where do the other 92 calories come from? They come from alcohol, and alcohol contains 7 calories per gram. So some of the carbohydrates are, accounting for some of those calories, but most of it is coming from alcohol. So when we track it, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take the total calories that are listed, and we are going to divide them either between fats or carbs or both. So if I go to my calculator here and I take 100 calories rather, and I use 50 of those calories as carbs, I know that there are 4 calories per gram of carbs. So that means that when I'm creating my custom entry, 12.5 grams of carbs is what I need to include in my food label. So I'll pop that in right there. And I've already had this listed. You'll see at the top, food name White Claw, serving size 1 can. Whoops. And under carbs, I have 12.5. But when I include that 12.5 grams of carbs and you go up to calories, you can see that it only equals 50. So now I have to assign those other 50 calories, and I'm going to put them under fats. I know that for every gram of fat, it's 9 calories. I'm going to take the remaining 50 calories divided by 9, and that means that's 5.55 grams of fats if I'm splitting evenly between carbs and fats. So once I put that in there, you can see I've got 12.5 grams of carbs, 5.55 grams of fat, and the total calories is 99. So pretty darn close. So I could save this food item and then log it accordingly. If I decided I wanted to only have my calories for this alcohol coming from fats, I would take that entire 100 calories, divide it by 9, and only use that 11.1, and I would have that entire beverage be designated to fat calories only. If I took that entire 100 calories and wanted to only designate it to carbs, because maybe I want to use my fats for something else, I'm going to take that 100 calories, divide it by 4, and that would be 25 grams of carbs. So you can choose how you want to divvy that up and how you would like to use your macros to account for that food item. But regardless of which one you choose, if you are doing alcohol and you are tracking it, you want to take the total calories and either designate it as carbs or designate it as fats, or split it up and have a little bit go to each of them.